In their tongue, he is Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.
Casting spells, hacking with swords, sniping wolves with arrows, completing side quests, and slaying dragons. Welcome to Skyrim. Over 200 years have passed since the gates of Oblivion have slammed shut. Now in Skyrim, you play the role of the Dragonborn, a legendary hero with the blood of dragons running through your veins. Has Bethesda taken over our social lives yet again as we played the latest Elder Scrolls game? Let's find out. Now Skyrim automatically feels similar to anybody who's had the pleasure of experiencing Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Oblivion. You either viewed the world in either third or first person, you kill enemies and then sort the corpses for items. You learn new abilities and level up. Sounds basic for an RPG? Perhaps. The first thing you'll notice about Skyrim is that unlike past Bethesda games, you'll no longer have to bear the clunky and off-putting Cambria engine that Fallout and Oblivion were based on. Having built a completely new engine, Bethesda have given Skyrim a chance to be similar to its predecessor, but simultaneously unique. The sheer variety of gameplay choices opens up within a few mere hours in Skyrim. Before you begin, you'll be able to design your own character from an attractive number of races to choose from. These races do not restrict your choices of weapons or class in any means not whatsoever. You'll have the choice throughout the entire game, which provides you with additional freedom. You can effortlessly switch from casting spells of illusion and fire to being armed with a bow thanks to a fantastic favourite list, meaning you don't need to rummage around in your inventory at the high point of a battle to merely change your weapon of choice. As you progress through the incredible world of Skyrim, you'll level up with each individual skill that you often use, though of course there is an overall rank as well. If you spare a fair amount of time picking locks of innocent people's homes in the middle of the night, you'll level up in that area. If you enjoy the science of alchemy and constantly create new substances and potions, you'll progress in that area and unlock new possibilities. Now, unlike in Fallout games, playing the baddie rarely cuts out for you in the land of Skyrim. If you decide that the poor peasant's lifetime supply of cheese and potatoes serves a greater need in your hands, it's only a matter of time before you're caught with the stolen goods, if you happen to be seen, that is. You'll then have to pay off your bounty, serve time in jail, or fight for your life. Same thing applies if you decide to start the fight in the middle of a town or butcher the Jarl of Whiterun. Avoiding this requires more skill and more focus, such as only stealing out of vision of everyone else, and of seeing you decide to remove all witnesses before word can spread, if you catch my drift. You'll also have the moral decisions when in missions, though these don't lead to the consequences that land you in jail as often. As you purchase more magic spells, upgrade your blade, and steady your aim with your bow, the challenge dramatically increases, as it should. You don't ever feel overpowered or underpowered unless you decide to restrict yourself to leveling up in a specific area or class, though this limits the particular quests and objects that you can interact with, of course. As you collect objects and items throughout Skyrim, you'll be able to experiment with them. For instance, you can either enchant your weapon, giving it a significant power. Likewise, you can also poison the tips of your arrows to give yourself a venomous advantage when attacking a dragon. As with previous Bethesda games, the gameplay is clunky and rather awkward at times. Characters will often attempt to have discussions with you through the wall and ceilings, and it's not unknown for your character to get stuck in the environment. Worse still, when getting hit by a troll, for instance, you'll be propelled into the air. Glitches seems to be Bethesda's trademark for games nowadays, and whilst these glitches are a slight annoyance, they aren't frequently bad enough to the extent you can't play them. But then again, we're expecting this from Bethesda. Now, as with the Fallout and previous Elder Scrolls games, you'll regularly end up accidentally attacking the other character or NPC, and then have the entire village after you, baying for your blood until you pay your bounty of 3 gold pieces. Role-playing games are supposed to be far away from realistic as possible, but confusing is also an element that we'd rather do without, wouldn't you say? Now, despite its minuscule flaws, the gameplay in Skyrim is top-notch and worthy of any modern RPG. Unquestionably, it's clunky at times, but the fantastic, dramatic overshadows the bad in nearly every way. You'll need to never go bored of it. It's outstanding to say the least. There are very few ways to describe the sheer size of Skyrim whilst doing it a fair amount of justice. I'm going to try and give you one. Imagine that you're looking for the universe for the first time. You can see countless stars, planets, and galaxies. Each and every galaxy has its own universe filled with stars and planets. These planets and stars contain endless space and objects as well, and each of these areas cannot be covered completely in a single lifetime. There are hundreds and thousands of these in each and every single galaxy. This is the only way to explain how complex and humongous Skyrim is. When you first step out into the world, you'll visit a village or two, chat to a few people, and generally get the feel for the game. Now when you start partaking in quests, you'll be scratching on the surface of Skyrim's expansive web of interwoven complexity. A simple task, for example, such as looking for a woman or finding a unique object, can lead to unbelievably intricate quests and tales that in some cases become their own game alone. There's almost no end to what you can do. In fact, even merely stumbling along a quaint village and going for the drink in a little inn can have you unraveling the dark secrets of Skyrim. I can discuss the details of a single quest for hours on end alone, so suffice to say that you'll be supplied with hundreds upon hundreds of hours of bonus content. The game begins with you sitting in the back of a carriage being taken to a village to be beheaded for your crimes. Just as the axe is about to fall, a dragon's screech pierces the air. Amongst the confusion, you escape. You have no clue as to who you are or what your purpose is until you end up in Whiterun and slay your first dragon. When you do so, you absorb the dragon's soul. You then discover that you are the Dragonborn, someone who has the blood of dragons running through their veins and the only one who can slay the awakened dragons once and for all. This starts a journey that would twist and turn the fabric of nature in every way possible and defies all laws of nature, myths, and illusion. Truth to be told, though, the story isn't a major factor in Skyrim, as with the unbelievable of side quests will hold your attention until the bitter end. Surprisingly, many of these quests meet at an intersection and you'll discover new paths you never thought possible to exist. Many of the quests you complete will either lead on to another quest that expands to a tale of its own. Exploring the sewers of Riften for the sake of talking to someone, for example, bringing you to the headquarters of the Thieves Guild. Should you decide to join them is up to you, but doing so will unlock new items, new rewards, new skills, and new bonuses. You'll be gifted with recognition from civilians and guards alike, be given numerous additional side quests to complete if you want to do so, and learn of its incredible secrets. All these take time to complete, and pulling off a successful burglary, for instance, is much easier said than done, and you'll meet many roadblocks across the way. You'll be given moral choices and decisions that will not only affect your quest, but your skills, your reputation, even the world around you. You can choose from plentiful of skills to level up with or specialize in. If you feel that the life of a thief is for you, then the speech, lockpicking, and sneak abilities are right up your street. Similarly, if you enjoy casting spells, then the perks of illusion, conjuration, and restoration should spike your interest. Each and every item you equip has a different effect on your character, status, and perks, and even how others may see you. There are new endless possibilities and choices. It's simply one of those games that you have an abundance of quests and choices that you have no idea where to start first. When you decide to take a break from the multitude of quests and merely explore the magnificent world of Skyrim, you'll discover many interesting places to explore, such as the ruins of a winter forest. Now, you may want to watch what you do, however. As fun as stealing the farmer's gold and butchering the villagers, the guards of Skyrim may think otherwise. Make the wrong enemy, slay the wrong thing, or make the wrong choice, and you'll only have yourself to blame. And a lot of the time you'll be wishing you saved earlier, as having a massive bounty on your head isn't exactly good for your reputation. If you want to be a two-goodies user and not get up to as much mischief, you may be interested in buying a house, looking for work, and getting married. There are plenty of other objectives to complete in these mundane tasks, amazingly. With an eternal number of possibilities to thousands of quests and a staggering number of options and decisions to make, Skyrim is a never-ending world of unimaginable possibilities and freedom. The sheer quality and complexity of the single-player campaign of Skyrim is so powerful that could be only described as food to satisfy your hunger for the game. You'll be held in awe throughout the entire game as you go deeper and deeper into the game, and you'll ever be lavishly rewarded for your efforts. Now, where the presentation is concerned, for an open world game, Skyrim boasts brilliant technical graphics. Disapprovingly, there are plenty of rough textures and uncanny glitches, but for the most part, the world is painstakingly detailed. The artistic design fares even better, with silent forests, freezing blizzard, and bloody dungeons, all containing the utmost care. The character detail and facial expressions have undergone a massive amount of plastic surgery, which is a godsend looking at Bethesda's previous works. This time around, the NPCs who you speak will not cause the camera to zoom in on their wax-like faces, such as in Fallout 3. Rather, they'll glance your ways while performing actions such as chopping wood or mending a weapon. It makes the world feel ever more improved. The in-game soundtrack has such a degree of quality that it'll cause you to pause and ponder if Bethesda have managed to steal God's CD collection. The rhythmic chants, battle themes, and the haunting soundtracks will stay by your side through the entire adventure. Effects, dialogue, voice acting, and more, all equally at the top of the class. Bethesda took notice of what was said to them concerning the presentation of the previous games and outdid themselves in every way possible. Now, where trophies and achievements are concerned, they're not really that hard, but they are exceedingly time-consuming. In order to obtain the Platinum Trophy quickly, you'll need to perform an extremely specific set of actions and choices which take the fun out of the game. For example, setting the difficulty to Novice, which is for pussies. Eventually, you reach that point without even trying especially hard, but after a long time, Bethesda should have been more creative and expansive when it came to the trophies, but doing so will allows us not only to focus on the trophies and focus more on the game itself. It's one of those platinums you'll obtain without even trying, and Skyrim is one of those games you continue to play long after the trophies have stopped popping. Now for my final conclusion. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim has done more than merely live up to its hype. It is without question the best Bethesda game ever created, and more importantly is the most engaging, engrossing, and expansive role-playing games of all time. The minor issues such as weak textures, glitches, and clunky gameplay do little to hinder the game's quality. Skyrim has something in it for every type of gamer, and is a game that should be picked up by RPG lovers the very minute it lands on local shelves. Bethesda have created a masterpiece that will never be forgotten and deserve the utmost praise. Out of 10, I will be giving it a 9.5. I hope you guys have enjoyed this review and have benefited from it, and hopefully you'll be going to the store right now to pick up the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.